Welcome to POPLAW Podcast. I'm your host, Desiree, and I'm still not your attorney. Focused on education, entertainment, and empowerment, POPLAW is the podcast where business, pop culture, entertainment, and law all intersect. Join me as I explore cultural hot topics with industry experts. Today's special guest works in a wide range of industries, including entertainment, sports, business, and fashion law. Since starting his firm, the Madubuogo Firm, his clients have earned more than 3 Grammy nominations and 14 Billboard awards. He's even negotiated more than $3 million worth of deals. His clients have worked with artists such as Chris Brown, CMG, Glorilla, 21 Savage, G Herbo, Kanye West, and Meek Mill. And he has even negotiated deals with companies including Capitol Records, Island Records, Empire, Nike, BET, Quality Control, Netflix, and Puma. Everyone, please give a warm welcome to Emeka Madubuogo. I am so happy to have you here. Huge accomplishments.
Oh, thank you.
You were all over the place, all in all the entertainment, music publications, so it's great to finally put a face to a name.
Thank you so much.
All right, so before we get into the topic, beat the bots, protecting producers' rights in the age of AI, let's get into some rapid fire questions so people can get to know you a little bit better.
Okay,
All right, I promise you these won't be too hard.
All right.
All right. I know that you love poetry and you also love music. So, Love Jones or Brown Sugar?
Brown Sugar.
Why?
The music. I mean, the way the movie starts off, like, it's the creation of hip hop. Like, you really see, like, these two kids go to the park where they see the creation of, like, this culture, you know, that exploded, you know, 51 years later. And I remember going to the park, you know, in Queens and just watching people just rap, and, you know, you never know who you would see. Or, you know, you go to Jamaica Ave, and it was just like, as a kid, like, those little memories just kind of paint a picture for who you become. And I just feel like Brown Sugar was like that. It was a motivational factor for me, even in high school and college as well, where I wanted to represent artists and I wanted to be in that space, and I was like, what do I do?
Yeah.
So you watch this man who goes from this giant, kind of get put down a little bit and have to start over, and he makes a hit.
Yeah.
And it kind of just shows you that, like, you know, it's possible.
It is all possible.
Yeah.
I think I'll go with you based on the work ethic and the inspirational piece.
Yeah.
Because I almost said Love Jones. I love that movie.
Love
but,
it too.
you know, based on our careers, I think Brown Sugar.
Brown Sugar,
That's the
man.
one. All right. What's your go-to hype song?
Anything ESTG.
Okay.
Anything ESTG. Probably fan right now. Vano 1700. I've been playing SOB a lot. Meek Mill championships, you know, especially on Sundays when my Eagles is playing. Yeah, but I would say definitely those 3 right now.
All right. What is your favorite thing to do to relax?
I've been real big on self-care right now. You know, hand and stone memberships, et cetera, just facial, you know, getting your nails done, making sure you're okay.
All right.
I take 3-4 hours every Sunday, you know, after church, just kind of just relax. Don't call me, don't talk to me. You know, I'll read a book, I'll listen to a sermon, you know, just kind of get in tune with myself.
Yeah.
Before you step back out into the masses on Monday. But that's definitely me for sure right now.
So you have time to do leisure reading without contracts?
So I never used to, because
Okay.
I'm like, you get paid to read, so you don't
Right.
just be want to read it for fun. And I started feeling like I needed to educate myself on how to just be different.
Yeah.
You know, how to, like, step outside, especially when your phone is never off.
Right.
It was good to read something that just made me feel like, you know, I could do different, motivate me differently, dress better, speak better, you know, stocks, investments, and tune, not just get in tune with myself, but it helped me with my clients as well. Especially knowing what they go through, it's good to have that knowledge to be able to say, you need to relax too, you know?
Yeah.
Calm down, you know, the industry ain't going nowhere.
It's not.
And it helped me a lot, it really did.
I love that you practice self-care. I think that's so important, particularly with our types of jobs. And I'm going to try to do some more leisure reading.
Oh, I got you. I'll send some your way.
I started listening to audiobooks, though, so I'm doing that because my eyes are tired by the end of the day, but it is nothing like feeling the paper of a book.
Yeah, but the audiobooks is good for like the gym, car rides.
Okay,
I'm real
okay.
big on the long road trip car rides. You know, I'll put the Prince by Machiavelli on.
Okay.
You know, and I'll get in tune with that. You know, so that's one of my favorite books. So I do listen to a lot of stuff like that.
I'm re-listening to the 48 Laws of Power right now. So
That's on my list.
yeah, you got to listen to it.
That's on my list.
All
you know.
right. What is the deal you are most proud of?
So many. I think right now I had an opportunity to work with a producer by the name of Cashmere Brown. He's from Freeport, Long Island. We practically grew up together, and for the longest time we lost like touch. And one day he just posted a picture like, you know, he had a record out with like Kanye West.
Okay.
With Donda, and I was like, oh, okay, this is great. And like that premiere track that, you know, they were promoting, he produced. And I was like, yo, can I work with you? Can I be your lawyer? Like, can I do anything? Like, and he ended up taking me on as his attorney, but we ended up doing a deal with 21 Savage, where he produced a record on there with Lil Durk, and I was just like, I was most proud of that because, you know, when it was all said and done, he texted me and he was like, we from the same mud, you feel me? Like, we grew up together. From us, like, banging on lunch, I'm talking about banging on lunchroom tables, making music, like, with our friends, and starting little rap groups at 7 or 8. To us 20 years later, like, we putting up platinum plaques.
Yeah.
I think that, to me, was, like, probably, like, my one of my greatest accomplishments, because I was helping my friend.
Right, yeah.
And he didn't stop, and I didn't stop, and no matter what, like, we found each other.
Yeah.
And now we, you know, we make money together, and we're making music together, so it's lit. Nah, I think that was it.
I love that. Helping your friends and y'all just propelling together is nothing. Money can't buy that.
Yeah.
Money cannot buy that. But it's good to make money together too.
Yeah, that's a fact.
All right. So to frame today's episode, we are going to talk about the threat of artificial intelligence on music producers, and the ownership of their copyrights. One case in particular is not necessarily AI related. We're going to talk about that a little bit more, but it's copyright infringement. We go through that all the time you see so many cases about sampling and interpolation and people just not getting stuff clear. So this case by Sherman Neely is really interesting because he's a music producer and he has a song that he put out in 1984 titled Jam the Box, and he put it out under his own music label, which I also thought was interesting, being an independent release. Well, in 2008, the song was sampled by Flo Rida, and at this time he was incarcerated, which is also crazy to me because he could not, you know, try to mitigate this copyright infringement with him being incarcerated. In 2018, 10 years later after the song had come out, he was released from prison. He sued Atlantic Records, Warner Chappell, and Artist Publishing Group, arguing that he did not give them permission to allow Flo Rida to sample the song.
Okay.
He sought damages all the way up to 2018, but Warner, they tried to oppose that, saying you needed to file within 3 years of the use. So Warner only wanted the infringement to be dated back to 2015, not 2008 when that song was first sampled.
Okay.
There was a new change in copyright law based on this case going all the way to the Supreme Court.
Right.
So the Supreme Court held that essentially people who own copyrights no longer have to be restricted by that 3-year limitation of discovery to bring the claim. As long as you file, you can bring it anytime. And this was huge, not only for this music producer, but it's really changing copyright law completely. When you see these changes happening like this in copyright, what are your first thoughts being a advocate for producers and artists?
Justice.
Yeah.
I mean, not specifically that case, but you know, when a producer creates something, like, he owns it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's his composition. Like, he has the right to distribute it, reproduce it, public perform it, and that's what copyright law. But it's his right.
Yeah.
Like, imagine you made something and then someone else makes millions of dollars off it.
Yeah.
And then they don't even give you like the courtesy to say, can I use it?
Yeah.
But it's the time period where the record took off. You don't even get credit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like every day you don't get credit is another opportunity you miss to make more music and get out there in that field. So
Right.
I think that's very important. Producers, like everybody know my hashtag is protect producers,
Yep.
protect creativity. So I think that's something I'm very adamant about as well, you know, and making sure your splits are right.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know, like you made a song by yourself, like yo, 50% of that song is yours, you know what I'm saying? Like that composition is yours, like, and we break it down, you know, pretty rate of share based on like how many producers are on there and et cetera, but like don't let nobody tell you that I'm gonna give you this because I'm this big artist. We don't care how big you are, like that's his song, like,
Right.
so we gotta protect people.
And splits, for people who don't know what splits are, how do they enter into that conversation?
Oh yeah, so when you're talking about producer splits specifically, so you know, producer makes the composition, which is like the underlying composition of the master. So
So that would be the beats, the
mhm,
melody
the
of
beats,
everything.
the instrumental, you know, the drums, the snare, the violin, anything, you know what I mean? That makes that underbelly of the beat, right? And he has the right, or whoever added to that has the right to license it away.
Yeah.
And you need everybody's permission to generally license it away, right? So when that kind of happens, that part of the song is 50%. Right? So if you own 50% of the song, you're generally gonna get a lot of that publishing money. We were talking about that's that publishing spit.
Yeah.
But then most of the time, or all the time, I make sure, like from at least my clients, you're gonna get points from the master as well. You're gonna get those royalties that are coming from the artist.
And what are points?
Oh, so that's when you're talking about the points from the master. So it depends whether the artist is signed to a record label, he could be independent, and you're gonna get a percentage of whatever the label distributor's getting on those royalties.
Yeah. And how hard is it to advocate for points or the proper splits?
I feel like the music industry is kind of changed. Like they know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's customary. It's you know, if a producer comes to you, he's gonna want points. He's gonna want his publishing. He's gonna want an advance. What I've started to realize a lot is a lot of producers specifically aren't getting their share of that money, right? So you got to make sure that you're really like, you know, you're on your PROs, make sure that your music's registered, make sure you're on these different type of, you know, websites where you could collect, that's maybe Song Trust, whether you're ASCAP, BMI, making sure you got every avenue, make sure all your songs are registered and you're filing copyrights, right?
Right.
Because if you don't file a copyright, then you can't sue.
And why, okay, you talked a little bit about if you don't file a copyright, you can't sue, but what exactly are copyrights in the music industry for people who do not know?
All right, so your copyright is your tangible medium of expression, you know what I mean? So it's whether you make a beat on your computer and you're fixing that on a medium, which is the computer hard drive, or you're on a piece of paper, you're writing down lyrics on a piece of paper, it's physical, something you could touch, even computer code. You know what I mean? It's that creativity that is now expressed on something you can actually hold or transfer.
And stay tuned for the POPLAW breakdown. I'll go in a little bit deeper on the law related to music copyrights, but while we're talking about this and you're saying it's something that a person affixes, this is where AI gets tricky, right? Because there is an argument now is if something is AI generated and that's by a machine and non-human, is it able to be registered for a copyright? And then who owns it?
Let's see. It's still the Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
It definitely still the Wild Wild West. And it's a blessing and a curse at the same time. I think it's something that's going to revitalize music, honestly. Like, I think I don't see the downside of it entirely.
Okay.
It's just when you listen to the radio and you know you made something 10, 15 years ago yesterday.
Yep.
And it sounds exactly like that. And you know a computer generated it. That's when things are kind of harmful. You know what I mean? Especially when it sounds exactly like this and they're saying, well, our generators, they don't steal music or et cetera, right? But these generators are trained and programmed to look at a large variety of copyrighted material and make something.
Right.
So it's hard.
And it's kind of like you are training it and taking bits and pieces from
definitely
everybody
training.
to create something kind of new, but not really.
I mean, we don't, obviously there's no proof or anything, but I'm pretty sure something's being submitted into the generator and to say, sound like this, act like that, you know what I mean? So that's where we're at.
And to that point, sound like this, when people are making music that sounds like something else. The new music owner for the new song, they're also losing those cases, like the Robin Thicke situation and Blurred Lines. It sound like, was it Marvin Gaye? And they end up having to pay the Marvin Gaye estate. So
I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard it, I was jamming out. And my mom was like, man, that's Marvin Gaye. I didn't hear it at first, until the case came out and, all that stuff kind of happened. But that was a big artist. And obviously there was access that was there. So, that case lasted a while and ended in Marvin Gaye's family's favor. Yeah. And I believe he has, I think, more lawsuits out there too.
Yeah, it's so many. And I think Miley Cyrus has one now for Flowers, sounding like, I can't remember the song. But do you remember?
No,
I don't remember. But it's still a bunch of these cases for sounding like. So the fact that humans could get sued for making music that sounds like something else, there has to be regulation that comes out for these AI generators and models.
I think it's definitely coming, especially with big record labels like these big factory record labels coming up saying, hey, if we can't make money off it, trust me, you ain't gonna be making no money off of it, and you listen to songs, especially like, in the rap beef, right, where, Drake uses, Tupac as an AI and submits it into the song. And I was like, at first I was like, yo, this is so cool. I'm like, man, that's Pac. And then a lot of people were like, man, but it's fake.
Right.
That's one of the pros and cons. It's like you get to hear your favorite artist or someone sounds like your favorite artist, right? But it's not really Pac, so, who knows?
So I just remembered, it was a Bruno Mars song that Flowers was copied by Miley Cyrus. So it's definitely these big artists copying each other, from the older artists copying each other or being inspired by. And then that whole Drake situation, Tupac, I thought that was absolutely crazy. I'm a Tupac fan. I'm from the West Coast. I'm like, don't bring him in it. Let him rest in peace, number one. And then I think Drake was upset when someone was making AI music using his voice. So I'm like, you turned around and did it in a rap beat that you lost?
It was like BBL Drizzy.
Yeah.
Or the little AI guy that signed. I mean, a lot of people are doing it. So but it's happening, right? And I don't think it's going to stop happening. I don't. I think actually we just have to prepare a regulation and figure out a way how to control it. So it's just not a wild, wild west space, like, right, where we're just trying to figure it out. I think there's going to probably come a day where maybe some of these AI companies are going to probably have to, like, pay a fee, obviously, to use someone else's name, image, and likeness specifically being someone's voice, right? And so these people get a check. The label that they're signed to and artists. So I think that's definitely where we're heading. And I definitely see, I think I read something recently about how, it might be like in the, I want to say it might be going up to as a bill where ARs are prohibited from using name, image, and likeness for certain artists where they're copyrighted material, and there might be fines and penalties put up there, but that hasn't been passed yet, obviously, so this is just all talk.
So how are you trying to protect your client's name, image, likeness, voice in the contracts that you use?
Oh, well, we copyright everything. We copyright everything, so we got copyright days where I'm just like, album comes out, album got to be copywritten down to, the beats, the lyrics, everything. We try to make sure a lot of our producer clients put their water tags, their producer tags on songs so people know. So it's like if you hear the beat, oh, well, that's X, Y, and Z, et cetera, et cetera. And we have a lot of producers do stuff like that. We actually contracted in that if I produce this and I got a producer tag, you're going to make sure it's in the master, right? So when everybody hears it, they know it's mine. A lot of people want it in there. A lot of labels don't want it. Sometimes it depends on the artist. But, and how many producers are on the record as well, but that's very helpful. But making sure everything's published, you sign up with your PROs, make sure everything's getting out there too, so you collect your royalties. But these are just things that are very helpful. I think when it comes to AI, it's hard because we even have some times where, like, and I've been in a situation where you can't clear a beat, right? So you look at the beat and you say, let's remake it to sound how we wanted it to sound when we was trying to clear it. So it happens, right? But that's still a producer. You might even go to the other producer and say, like, hey, we sampled a little bit of this. Let's get your permission. You might give them some publishing, et cetera, and still get it out. AI ain't doing that. So it's very different.
So I have a theory, and I don't know if this is true, but you see how all these VC firms are buying artists' music catalogs. I don't know the why behind it, but one theory that I have is that they're buying it to train AI models and be able to, you know, recreate these beats and just monopolize the music industry. So, for example, when there's movies and other ventures that these companies have, because I'm looking at the portfolios that they're buying, then they don't necessarily have to hire the producers or the music artists to create the, you know, the music, because that's more expensive than if they just train their model, they can make something for a major film.
That's different.
Is this something that you have thought about, or am I on a wild, wild west?
I think you just opened up my mind a little bit. I'm gonna have to definitely start researching some of that. I just feel like we're in a space now where music now, you all want it to be digital.
Yeah.
One way to make it digital for somebody to put it out there, distribute it, for it to own it. So I could definitely see a lot of companies buying up as much music as possible so they can put it out there. Also, they know sooner or later a lot of these artists are going to be here, and their music is going to be worth more.
Yeah.
So it's better to own it now. I gotta look at music as like a stock.
Yeah.
So that's what a lot of people getting ready for.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, I think the one day we might start to hear some of these companies coming for us. They partnered up and they already own everything, so there might be an AI generator out there. I could definitely see that coming.
Starting their own labels now under the VC firms.
Oh yeah,
you don't
AI's
need the major.
Start on labels. So they're definitely gonna try.
Because if they own all the music, you don't need the label anymore, right?
Any content creator or content distributor is gonna start their own labels. Like that's just what it is. They're signing talent already.
Right.
Artists, producers, they're linking up with managers, trying to get everything done. Like, and if you sign to them, you get more percent on the dollar for like, you know, the material that you're putting out there. It's already happening.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's happening.
And you mentioned PROs. For people who don't know what PROs are, go a little bit and explain what a PRO is, and then why, again, they need to register.
Yeah, so performance rights, so a PRO is a performance rights organization. You got BMI, ASCAP, CSAC, you know, these are organizations that collect your mechanical royalties. So an artist would sign up with either ASCAP, BMI, or a CSAC, and they would register all their compositions, and they would keep track of those compositions and allow them to collect the mechanical royalties. So when they're publicly performed, prime example, right? So we do this for all our artists all the time, making sure that when they come out with a song or it's placed, that it's registered. And that's just not producers, that's songwriters as well. It's someone who owns publishing. You're gonna be registered with a PRO, so you can collect that money. And they send you a check.
Okay, so what is a mechanical royalty for people who do not know?
Okay, so mechanical royalty is a royalty based on the performance of your copyright, right? And whether it's distributed, reproduced, and for the outer space of the world, it kind of comes back that way, and you get paid for it.
And performance, is it publicly performed like on the radio, or if you're at a concert? What does performance actually mean?
Getting deep. So there's two types. So you have performance royalties, right, and you have mechanical royalties. Performance royalties are the royalties that are when a song is reproduced and you get money from it, and then you have royalties that are also from public performance, and then you get money from it, right? So mechanicals and public performance, they work together.
Yeah.
And all these forms of royalties that come back to people who own publishing.
And that's why ownership is important, right? And to make sure you have things registered so you can keep on collecting money on the art that you create in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what is something that you struggle with your clients, your producer clients, when they, let's say, are offered to go into the studio with their favorite artist and they don't sign anything, and then they come back to you? How do you navigate those conversations?
So when they don't sign a contract, I mean, I'd rather you not. I'd always rather you just tell me like you have a placement or someone reached out to you for your work, and then we negotiate it that way so we get you the best terms. Most contracts that you're gonna get aren't gonna have the necessary language in them. Yeah. They're gonna give you the best protection, and we make sure you do. Like, you're gonna make sure that you're getting 100% of your statutory mechanical rate. You're gonna wanna make sure you get paid on execution. I mean, if you're fully delivered.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to make sure that you're indemnified. Everything's, mutual. That can be mutual as well. So don't sign nothing.
Right.
Come to us, or at least have your manager potentially look at it as well. Not just say your lawyer knows everything, but there's a lot of experienced, managers out there who definitely have if you're fortunate enough to have one, can be a great resource as well. But I feel like as an attorney, I should be educating my clients as well. Like, you should literally be able to look at something and say well, I don't like that, and I don't like that, and I don't like that, right?
Yeah.
And then say, Mac, I already looked at it and X, Y, and Z, and I don't want that, right? But a lot of the time, you don't need that. That's what you're paying us for.
Right.
So.
But I think education is so important, and that's why we're doing the podcast, right? So people who can't afford an attorney, they can look at this, they can at least have some guidance. I always say, still get an attorney, and like you said, never sign anything, because it's easier to get in a contract than it is to get out of one. And I don't do litigation. I think you do litigation, right?
I've done some copyright litigation in the past, as well as some criminal litigation. In the entertainment space, I definitely will refer those out to the best attorney I can find for you.
Right.
Because litigation definitely gets murky.
Yeah. I don't like litigation at all.
The goal is to stay out of litigation. The goal is to stay out, but anything can happen,
So you talked a little bit about the provisions of a producer deal, but I want to give our audience maybe 3 key provisions that they should look at. We talked about splits, when the payment, but is there something else that's unique to producer agreements that people should look for?
Are you credit? You're going to want to make sure that your credit is in there as well. What a lot of times, not labels, but this language tries to do is lump everybody in there to categories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you want to be able to separate that. If there's 4 producers on a song and you don't know them, then y'all shouldn't be lumped in together.
Yeah.
So you're gonna want a provision in there that says they're not your producer personnel, and you don't know them, you ain't hired them.
Yeah.
They just on a song with you.
Right.
And y'all hired them.
Right.
So their money not coming from my money. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely want something there that talks about that as well. And look at the jurisdiction. I mean, you generally can't control that anyway, but at least you should be able to know, hey, this record label was out of New York or out of LA, and stuff like that kind of happens as well. Definitely going to be able to change your right to assign your payment. That's a big one. A lot of people definitely don't think about that, but what if you don't want to get your money yourself? What if you want your kids to be able to get your money, your company to be able to get your money before you die, and et cetera, et cetera? You want to assign that royalty to a trust or something like that. So that's something to definitely think about.
So we talked a lot about our careers, how we got into the space. We gave people gems on what to look for in their contracts. But has there ever been a case or something that keeps you up at night that you are just like, why am I in this situation, that you would like to share that can be inspirational to people to not make the same mistakes?
I think you really have to be cautious of who you send your music to and where you send your music to, especially if you're a young artist who really doesn't have a lot of guidance. You have to be cautious of what deals you sign, maybe whether it's a production deal or a managerial deal, or even a shopping deal, right? Where someone feels like they have the right to now take your music and shop it around. Yeah. Because what that deal doesn't do for you doesn't protect you, right? And your creativity. Right. So you may be like one of my clients who was in one of these situations where, someone felt they had the right to shop his music around, and they did. And they got placed with a really big artist, and was a hit. A year later, you don't got no pub splits, right? Oh, wow. So for a year and some change, they getting a lot of money, off those royalties. You ain't getting none.
The person shopping it got a lot of money?
Everybody got money, except the artist.
Wow.
Everybody got money. Got deals off that. A lot of people got money. And you still don't got nothing to show for it, right? But the credit's there, right?
At minimum, but
right.
Yeah.
I want money. A lot of people want the money.
Right.
And everybody knows you wrote this song, but it's very hard. And that, honestly, it didn't change until we got involved, where he was like, one thing they're gonna say is, it's coming. It's coming. The plaques is going up around everybody else's house, but it's coming. Yeah. You gotta be very careful with stuff like that, because your time may not be coming. So it's best that you get an attorney or someone at least who can advocate on your behalf and say, where's the agreement? He wrote this song or produced this song. He never licensed away his right for you to use this song, right? And he still owns that composition, right?
Yeah.
So where are we at with it?
Right.
Because we could sue you.
Yeah.
Once you start talking lawsuits and stuff, the higher ups start saying, what the heck happened here?
Right.
And that's where you kind of got to go from it there. But it's hard.
Yeah.
Because think about it. For how long you weren't getting your compensation, right? Someone else got it. Now we got to start to figure out how we get the money back, how you getting back pay, who's going to pay it, who got to indemnify you. It's a lot. Who has to indemnify the artist who, you know, is performing the record? It's a lot. It can get really, really deep.
And how do you advise your client just from a mental standpoint? Because I think that is taxing and it can be discouraging to put your music out, trust people to shop your music, or even you seeing everything happening around you except for the compensation. I think it takes a mental toll as well.
Yeah, you got to stay calm. One thing I started noticing is everybody want to be your friend when the music is out there and they get all these accolades and they get money.
Yeah.
But when you start asking for yours, they start cutting you loose.
Yeah.
And I'm following you, and you can't come hang out no more. And that song record you had with me that was coming out, it's not coming out no more.
Right.
Let's tell them what happens, right? What you got to do is stay calm.
Yeah.
Don't say nothing. Don't text nothing. Don't write nothing. Don't crash out, as they say, right? Don't crash out, right?
Yeah.
And stay calm and stay with your team. Because you stay with your team, we're going to advise you, or your team will advise you to do the best thing to keep the conversation, at a minimum, respectful.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, business got to get done.
It does.
Right? I don't need you cursing out this person or cursing out this person. And this the music industry. It's get dangerous.
Yeah. And it's the long game, chess, not checkers, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like I always tell people, like, even when people ask me, yo, Mac, go harder. Man, I got to be in this business for a long time. You got to be in this business for a long time. Nobody got to get off the rails. Like, you know, you handle business respectfully. Right. And I feel like off that, your rapport, a lot of people respect you the same.
Absolutely. I think we gave people a lot of information. I want to leave our new and upcoming artists with 3 takeaways if they are entering into a deal. So what are 3 takeaways you would give people?
So what I would honestly say is it's a job, right? Like you're asking for potentially a label or a company or even a third-party person, right, to give you this opportunity, right? Yeah. It's a job. You got to be able to work.
Yeah.
And I think I was actually talking to one of my friends. He was like, artists got to be able to just work, right? And I feel like once you start to realize that, you're ready to step ahead. It's not, I got a hit song and they gave me a lot of money and now everybody lit. It's like, I got to be able to keep following up and following up and following up. That's going to the studio. It's going to press releases. Yeah. That's writing. That's going to events where people can see you, right, interact with you. That's you taking the time to interact with other artists. Right. Start to figure out what's going on, right? And staying out of trouble. Yeah. And staying out of trouble, right? These morality clauses are real, you know what I'm saying? You can get indicted, a whole bunch of that stuff. It can go left very fast. Right. And I've had clients sign on Monday and get indicted on Thursday. It's crazy. So that's just one thing I would say. Second, be ready to market yourself, right? You got to be a business. Yeah. In 2024, artists have to be businesses. Your name is not just a trademark, but it's a walk-in brand of yourself and who you want to be. And so when I say that, you might want to watch what you stage name yourself, right? Yeah. Especially if your name is X, Y, and Z. You got to think about what brands are going to want to work with you, will allow themselves to work with you. And your name alone might stop your business. Absolutely. You might just be an artist and never be a brand. Yeah. And that's very hard. You know what I'm saying? So but you got to understand the elements that we're dealing with now. It's just we're marketing. You got to be able to, when I say TikTok, hashtags, Instagram, Facebook, you know, you going on live, you doing these reels, like all that stuff is important now, right? Yeah. Because we're looking at that saying, all right, the engagements are high, but does it transfer over to you streaming? Yeah. Right? You could be lit on Instagram and have 10 monthly listeners on Spotify. And that says a lot. It says a lot of people are engaging with you as a person, but they're not listening to your music. To your music. So whenever you're telling somebody like, man, I got 40,000 engagements on this video. Look, my songs is lit. And then we go to YouTube and 100 people listen to it. And then you go to Spotify and nobody really listening to it.
Yeah.
You gotta say to yourself, is the marketing aspect of me being a star online as big as me actually being a star in my music
Right.
and making money?
Yeah.
Because how do you tell somebody, yo, give me $500,000 and your song's not making no money?
No money. Yep.
You gotta think about stuff like that. All right.
All right, and I will give the last takeaway,
Talk
and it's
to me.
something that one of my favorite producers said, Omar Grand. He
Yeah.
said, you can't win today's game with yesterday's points.
That's right.
And I think a lot of people want credit for old work and how you said they are supposed to be music artists, but the music doesn't translate to the online interaction. So just keeping that in mind, that you are a brand, you are a business, and the past work doesn't matter. Treat every new thing like an audition.
Yeah.
And that's how you continue to work, and that's how you
That's
get
a fact.
longevity.
I mean, unless your past work like 6 times platinum, then
Right,
we're gonna keep playing that thing.
So tell everybody where they can reach you if they have any legal
Oh, man.
questions. There's consultation fees.
Okay.
However, Instagram, your firm,
Okay.
all of that.
Well, I'll talk to people for free, right?
I love
I'll talk
that.
to people for free because information is free, right?
Yep.
But my name is Emeka Xavier Madubuogo, the founding partner of Madubuogo Firm. You can find me at Emeka Xavier ESQ. Same thing, you know what I'm saying, LinkedIn, or my email, you know, it's the same as Emeka Xavier ESQ at gmail.com. Like, I'm very open, you know, information is free, I'm very accessible. You might see me at a concert, you might see me at a rap battle, you might see me here, you know what I mean? So I'm just happy to be here, so
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to have you.
Oh, it's a
You
pleasure.
gave us lots of gems.
Yeah.
Tell everybody your hashtags, actually, because I love your hashtags.
Oh, yeah. So my hashtags are protect producers, protect songwriters, protect creativity. And I think that was real big for me when I started realizing, like, hey, these hashtags are important, right?
Yeah.
And you want one source where you could click on it and see all the work we were doing, but actually see a lot of information we were doing as well.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's strong when you say protect producers,
Yeah.
right? And I think they need to be protected. Songwriters need to protect, the artists in general need to be protected. So, but in reality, by protecting them, you're protecting creativity.
Absolutely.
So that's what we're here for.
Well, everyone's lucky to have an advocate like you, particularly in this shifting world with
Thank you.
AI. We go keep making sure that we advocate for people in music, and we'll just keep running it up.
Hey, if you want to use my voice for AI, just pay the fee and I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready.
All right. Thank you so much for watching POPLAW Podcast. I'm your host, Desiree. Make sure that you tune into POPLAW Podcast on all streaming platforms and our YouTube, www.poplawpodcast.com. Look at all of our hashtags as well, hashtag POPLAW Podcast, and you'll see everything come up POPLAW related. And please remember, I am still not your attorney.